Welcome back to Personalized Learning Agenda Part 3. Today we will revisit our classes so far. Active critical reflection is necessary in every aspect of our teaching, not only in front of class. We must try to re-evaluate our own values and experiences as they relate to our teaching. Our assumptions and theories about teaching composition must remain open to inspection, evaluation, and revision, a condition that requires an active inquiry paralleling to inquiry in which we engage our students. The key word here is the concept of active inquiry. This quote's from George Hillock's. It's my favorite book, published in 2005. For me, it is simply a matter of comparing and contrasting, questioning and finding underlying principles. You cannot take things for granted. And that's the true learning within this active inquiry perspective. Let me tell you a little bit about the last meeting, April 29th. To tell you the truth, I was not that enthusiastic to have that class. Why? I thought my video was not as good as I expected. I didn't think that it wouldn't stimulate the learning on the part of you. To my surprise, however, the class remains very enthusiastic. Much more surprisingly, the responses of you were way beyond my expectations. Compared to April 22nd, for example, the class of April 29th invited more activity responses. On April 22nd, on average, each student hit 55.3 activity on the learning management system. In contrast, on April 29th, a week later, the participation increased significantly. That was 62.75 hits. I was certainly so surprised. I asked my question, why? Since I didn't think that my video was good enough to stimulate you all to study in the class. So let us see individual responses. A case in point, Agnes highlighted 3 lessons. She found that the class has become a powerful learning community. She also found the importance of shared learning, which allows her to revisit her own learning. What about Krismalita? She is appreciative of others' life journeys. In her opinion, learning becomes a meaning-making process. The second group from Siwi and Novi. Novi learned the significance of personalized theories. She also reported to have developed a better understanding of how those theories came to be acquired. Last, she also highlights the significance of this shared learning. That is the facilitation for the meaning-making process. What about Siwi? She found the significance of reviewing her own experiences. It was through watching inspiring videos that she could learn more and more. Much more importantly, she also found that encouraging peer feedbacks work very well for her own progress. This is the third group, Pak Triwin and Sumit. For Pak Triwin, this group learning done through forum discussion has allowed him to revisit her own identities. Teaching is never a simple act. It represents who we were, who we are, and who will be in the future. We are by nature complex beings. What about Sumit? He highlights 2 major issues. The first, through this class and also from the video, he could feel the eagerness, passion and determined heart of me to inspire others. Wow, those are heartwarming comments, Sumit. Thank you for this interesting comments. Second, he also highlights the importance or significance of attending prior experiences so as to shape our own identity. We have another group, and for Africa, she's very grateful for learning in this class. Well, I think you can be more elaborate then. I know that it is tough for you to use the limited time to attend many things, but I hope you remain strong and more strategic. What about Hanul? He found that such activities allow him to obtain insightful ideas. From a Vygotsky perspective, this social learning is cognitively stimulating. The last from this group, but certainly not the least, is from Ina. She found the importance of writing on learning struggles and challenges, and this is a critical point that allows her to know herself better. She's also grateful for the feedbacks from her colleagues. Next is Diva and Harsha. Harsha attempts to focus on the content and highlights the systemic critical reflection level. He focuses on the content, not the strategy. And in an integrated language instruction, one of the key points is certainly the content itself, and Harsha is doing on that level. What about Diva? She was happy seeing the connections among theories and what she believes to be her own. And in addition, she also highlights the way to conduct professional reflection. The next is Christian. Hope you are doing fine at Borneo, Chris. Well, here Chris attempts to attend to two things. The first is related to the identity formation as teachers, and it covers the process of reshaping, refining, and regaining the true identities. And second, he raises the issue of mindfulness, which must be done anytime and anywhere. While the concept of mindfulness reminds me with what Ellen Langer in 1989 wrote. She believes that we need to be imaginative all the time. We need to reframe our understandings all the time. Mindfulness is a state of being alert to anything around you. The next group is Brother Nissen and Anastasia. For Brother Nissen, this activity allows him to rediscover and strengthen his own learning. Much more importantly, he also found that this learning activity has enriched him, especially there are various perspectives to attend. What about Anastasia? For her, learning is to reflect. It is a matter of attending things up to the details, and its careful examination of life experiences, including the personalized learning agenda, has helped her manage her time. She also becomes aware that she was not sharp enough in attending to her own experiences. Now it comes to the last. Lisa was interested to know the human part of her lecturer. Who is he? What made him so? What struggles did he have in the past? How did he overcome all those challenges? How could we learn from his past life? From the ways he solved his problems? It is through attending the human part of her lecture that she has the therapeutic elements to take to remedy her own limitations. So, we have addressed all the qualitative responses, and in short, from the statistical data about students' active participation in the class, and also from the end of class reactions, it is evident that anyone in this class has learned a lot. And the next question is, what made the class remain enthusiastic? In my reflection, I have 3 reasons. The first is the clear goal of using the conceptual framework. And it is evident that we are now utilizing the critical self-reflection on assumptions. And there are 4 areas. According to Mesuro, there are 4 areas. They are narrative, systemic, therapeutic, and epistemic. In the narrative reflection, we address what others say about us, especially related to who we are, what we do, and how we do things in the field of education. With regards to systemic reflection, we critically attend to educational policies, structural constraints, managerial challenges, existing rules and regulations that create certain hurdles to development of self and others. Related to therapeutic, we develop a critical awareness about our own limitations and our negative tendencies. For what purpose? So as to find appropriate remedies for the betterment of ourselves. And the last one, this is the epistemic one. We attend to our assumptions, beliefs, norms, and habits that have shaped us. Explain how our own thinking patterns work in certain contexts. So, I would assume that we have been working on this concept, the conceptual framework, in the past few weeks. And again, let's come back with this lovely guy. The video on Imoto Haruhisa aired by NHK Japan. The activity, the video viewing or watching, coupled with my short essay about him, turned out to be inspirational among you all. Why could that happen? First, this video speaks very clearly about what it means to educate. Imoto Haruhisa is an exemplary teacher whose commitment is on the well-being of his students. The core business of education goes beyond the mandated curriculum or even the testing regime set up by the government. Education is certainly much more complicated compared to teaching itself. Second, the life of Imoto Haruhisa becomes example of the embodied knowledge of education. His professionalism cannot be neatly described in checklists. His ways of thinking, acting, and conducting himself are a true embodiment of education itself. So in short, we need to go to the second elaboration, a second reason. And my videos are basically a representation of a series of reflective practices that cover 4 related areas. Related to the first area, that's narrative, it is apparent from the video that I attempted to maintain as authentic as I could. I came from a less privileged family. In my grade schools, I was not academically prepared. Being born and raised in remote area and attending a regular school, I was not prepared to compete with other students. But I ended up adapting myself and embracing the spirit of competition to earn education. As a student, I was so delighted to outperform others. But when I became a teacher, such a competitive spirit turned into compassion. I changed my question. How could I help my students? Second, my video also raises the importance of systemic reflection. At this level, I sought to adapt myself to formal schooling. I remained curious to know why educational policies were created, on what basis curriculum was constructed, and who benefit from the mandated policies. Again, my motivation is how to better serve students. That's the systemic level of reflection. Now, related to therapeutic, I always make a conscious effort to fully understand my own limitations. So I became more curious on how to develop more strategies to obtain better ways to learn. It is a matter of seeking appropriate remedies to overcome my own problems. Now, related to the last one, that's the epistemic, I seek to understand the conceptual framework of my own learning. I intentionally clarify what I understand to myself and others. I'm eager to share what I strive for, what I intend to reach, and why I do so. I'm good at explaining my own assumptions, beliefs, considerations, as well as my own limitations. So this is the epistemic level. And this is the third reason, and I won't explain much of this. If you really want to know how I keep developing myself, you can just browse my Compassionate pages, and I have more than, I guess, 200 pieces of writing there. So, well, go there. And certainly my writing skills have allowed me to move to this video making that you are now enjoying. And well, certainly I'm very good at adapting to challenges. So this is the end of our video, and again, here we go. You now have the bonus for you. You received the warmest regards from the video editor, Rio. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay home, and stay happy. Bye bye.